soy el doctor Oscar Valencia, coordinador de este espacio de educación médica continua. En nombre de la Escuela de Medicina y Ciencias de la Salud del Tecnológico de Monterrey, les doy la más cordial bienvenida a la sesión académica de pediatría. On behalf of the School of Medicine and Health Science of Tecnológico de Monterrey, I welcome you to our pediatric rounds. And today, we're going to have the first of 3 sessions that we're going to have on March. And the first is going to be, the title is Music and Singing, Essential for Child Development. As pediatricians, we are responsible for the health of our patients, restore the health and keep them healthy. Also, we have to prevent accidents, prevent infections with the vaccines. And also, we have to promote reading, sports, art. We have to insist that they eat well, that they sleep also well, and to limit the number of hours they spend in the screening. That's why the purpose of this session is to raise the awareness and drive actions at the pediatricians to promote music and singing in our children. Today's speaker, it's Paul Smith, and Paul is an innovative and creative performer, conductor, composer, and inspirational educator, and an empowering public speaker. As a co-founder of Voices 8, author of Voices 8 Method, and CEO of the Voices Foundation, his annual program sees him working globally in prestigious concert venues, festivals, schools, and universities. Paul, it's a pleasure to have you with us today, so I'll give you the floor.
Thank you very much, Oscar. Let me see if I can just make a screen so that you get to see me in a nice full way. There we go. It's very nice to have so many of you here today to take part in this session, and thank you for putting up with my English. Being English, I spend most of my time apologizing for the lack of my other language skills, but languages is probably another session. However, we do know that music is a very important developmental skill for all sorts of different things. I'm going to spend the next 40 minutes or so sharing some ideas with you, sharing some practical tips with you, and hopefully making some music with you as well. But that will depend on all the people who you can see around you. But before we do that, I thought I would just give you a very small introduction into who we do, what Voces 8 is. It would not surprise me if you've not heard the name Voces 8 before. Voces 8 is a vocal ensemble. We're based in the UK, but we spend most of our lives traveling. We have spent some wonderful moments in Mexico, but as yet we've not been further south than Mexico, and we're hoping one day to make our debut in South America. I personally am thrilled to be here because my better half is a Brazilian flautist named Daniela Mars. So as a musician myself, it's a great pleasure to be connecting with Mexico and the region beneath you. But we've actually only just returned from a US trip, and Voces 8 today is in Portland in the north of America. But I thought I'd begin the session just by sharing my screen so I can play you a little bit of music to show you what we do. So I hope you can all see this. Oscar, can you see this okay? I think you probably can.
Yes.
Excellent. So here's just a little taster. I'm not going to play the whole song. I'm just going to play the beginning of this piece. As you can see, it's a piece by Ola Yelo, who's a Norwegian composer and a very good friend of ours. And it starts with a moment of plain chant, and then it becomes a choral piece which really taps into a contemporary harmony. So I hope you enjoy meeting Voces 8 in this little video. Oh, There we go. Just a little introduction, a teaser, if you like. And if you'd like to listen to more of it, I will make sure we include the links as we're following up on this session. Now, the reason I chose that piece is because, as well as being a beautiful piece of music that we love singing, it also gives you a little introduction into me as a child. And actually, when I was growing up as a 9-year-old, my parents enabled my brother and myself to go and attend the choir school at Westminster Abbey. And that's really where my passion for music began. So the music that you just heard there, that plain chant, is something that's been in my body, in my soul, ever since I was a young child. And alongside that choral music world that we live in with Voces 8, we've actually, over the last 20 years, it's a group my brother and I founded, but we've gone well beyond what is effectively just singing in concerts, and our mission is very much centered around music and music education. I'm just going to give you a quick introduction to the organization that we have, if I can just find this. Oh, where is it? I think it's over here. There we go. So the Voces 8 Foundation, as you can, has a number of ensembles. You've met Voces 8. This is Apollo 5, another ensemble. That's me. And then we have my brother Barney and a new ensemble called Lyra. And we also have our own space in London called the Voces 8 Centre. So we have a number of different groups, and we focus on giving concerts all over the world. We perform maybe 110 concerts with Voces 8 every year, and then aside from that, we give about 60 concerts with Apollo 5, and we then run workshops. We have a team of about 50 of us who are working in different countries at any one time. So we have a charity in the US, we have a charity in the UK, and we have a charity in France. And our mission, as simply put as possible, is to encourage as many young people to find their love of singing. My task today is actually not just to talk to you about it, although I'd love to take your questions at the end of the session, but actually what I'd really like to do is show you some of the things that we do, and I'd really love it if you join in with me. So about 15 years ago, I published a book called The Voces 8 Method, which is designed to enable anyone, whatever age, whatever ability level, to make music in a very simple way that very quickly introduces us to lots of different elements. And I want to share some of that with you today. So what we're going to do for a few minutes is just go on a little musical adventure. I'm sat here in my office in Paris at the moment, in the French foundation that we run. So I'm hoping that the people in the other businesses next in the corridor don't mind when I start making weird noises. But what I'd also love, if it's possible, is for you guys to also make weird noises as well. So whatever I do, I'd love you to do it, if you can, in the space that you're in. I don't know where you are, so I do understand if you just have to watch me being stupid by myself. But if you can do it with me, then we're going to make some quite cool things happen over Zoom in the next 15 or 20 minutes. After we've done a bunch of things together, I'm then going to explain why we did them, the purpose behind it, and the thinking in terms of development, both musically and in other areas of our life. So it's really very simple. There are 4 instructions you need to know. And the first one is that one, which means stop. Then we have this, which means get louder. This, which means get quieter. And this, which just means carry on. And basically, whether you're a musician or not, if you know those 4 instructions, you can do pretty much anything you need to know. So we have stop, louder, quieter, and keep on going. After that, you just have to copy me. So Oscar, I can see you, but I can't see anyone else. So I believe that you're all doing this. Oscar, you might want to mute your microphone as well.
Yes.
Because otherwise, in fact, I'll do it for you. There you go. You're muted. Okay, so now join in with me if you like. We're going to start by rubbing our hands
You
together.
want me to mute my mic or not?
I mean, you can mute if you like, Oscar, or you can make stuff with me. But after that, we're going to tap our arms together, and we're going to pat just here. So we're starting with some stuff that is very easy, just here. I've been doing these sessions on Zoom for a very long time. I do hope you're copying me. Oscar, thank you so much for doing this with me. I'm sure you don't do this in most of your sessions, but let's just wake every part of our body up.
Right.
Very good. And this is great. And just going to rub our heads there. And now just wiggle your fingers with me like this, and up and down, and up and down, and across, and up, across. And now make sounds with me like this. Vroom. I hope you're still with me, and I hope people are looking at you weirdly. With your hands, can you now hold out your fingers? Just wiggle them for me. Very good. And put your thumbs up. Oh, how did that happen? I don't know what just happened there, but I love Zoom. And fingers. And thumbs. And fingers, thumbs, fingers. One of each. And swap. This is really testing Zoom. And it's testing Oscar, I can see as well. Let's try again. Can you say for me thumbs? I love this. And we're going to go high and say thumbs. And then we're going to say thumbs. Then we're going to say fingers. Then we're going to say one of each. And then we're going to change. Like that. And again. And now faster. Very, very good. Rub your hands together, and Zoom really has added extra moments of to my life there with the brilliance of these emojis. And we're going to just put our hands here, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. 5. Now with this hand, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4. 4. 3. 3. I'm learning new tricks here. This is amazing. Brilliant. And I hope you're keeping with me. Now we're just going to add in a couple of new ideas. Can you say for me dumb? Now say for me dumb tea. Very good. Now dumb tea quiche. Very good. And now the last one, dumb tea quiche tea. So we've got 4 sounds. Do it with me. Dumb tea quiche tea. Dumb tea quiche tea. Very good. Now, if we say dumb, but without using the word, all the word, we're just going to use the syllables. We're left with dum. So instead of dumb, it's dum. Can you just say for that with me? Dum. Very good. And then instead of T with no vowels, it becomes t. Can you do that with me? T. And again. T. 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 So we have dum, and we have t. Dum. You can see where this is going. Our third sound was the word quiche. And if we take out all the vowels, we're just left with sh. Can we do that together? Very nice. And the fourth sound was the same as the second one, which was T, which becomes t. So now if we stick that together, we end up with dum, t, t, dum, t, t. Let's see if we can do that together. Oscar, I can see that you are doing this brilliantly. You are absolutely A1 with everyone.
Not at all.
So let's try
trying.
that together. Yeah, you're doing great. So we're going to loop it around a few times. And so just if you can use the actions as well, that'd be really good. Normally when I do this, I hit my thigh. When I say dum, I click. When I say T, and when I say ksh, I clap. So just as a demonstration with those sounds, it goes like this. If we want to use the sounds I just used on this screen, it goes like this. But I really like this one because I can keep doing this. You know you've got to do it with me, but I can talk at the same time, and it keeps the rhythm going with sound as well. So let's just try that a little bit. Let's see if we can stick it together. Dum tea quiche tea becomes dum. Let's do it all together 4 times around. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. And stop. Very good. So that's our first little layer, dum tea quiche tea. I'm very quickly going to teach you a second layer. Can you again hold up your hands? Let's see what Zoom makes of this. Can you say 1? And can you now say 4? and 7 and 8. Yay, we got balloons. No idea why we get balloons. So we have 1, 4, 7, and 8. Can we say those numbers together with me? And 1, 4, 7, 8. Those are the numbers we're going to clap on. On the numbers I didn't give you, we're not going to clap. So just watch me. It goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's try that all together. Good luck. 1, 2, 3, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Da, 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 da. And stop. Very good. Now, if we had more time, we could play around with this a lot. We could add in different syllables to go with each clap. Quite often I use da and duh, so da 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 da, for example, and we can do that kind of thing. For now, here's the test. Oscar, let's see if you can keep up with this. So whilst I do one rhythm, you're going to do the other one. Okay, so I'm going to start by doing dum, dum, and at home, in your office, wherever you are, I want you to try and do the other one if you can. If you can't, if you're feeling that's a bit weird, just do whatever I'm doing. That's also fine. But if you can do the other one, so the other one was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, at the same time as I do the dum ti quiche, then we're creating some sort of Zoom rhythmic harmony across the planet, which I think is kind of cool. So let's see if we can do that. I'm going to start with dum ti quiche. 1, 2, 3, here we go. Can you put the clap in? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Da, 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 da. Now let's try and swap. So Oscar, I can see that you've got this dum ti quiche down pretty well. So you and everyone at home is going to do that. I'm going to start you off doing that. Then I'm going to put in the other rhythm on top. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Keep going with that whilst I change to the clap after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Da 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 da. Very good. Nice job, everyone. Give yourselves a round of applause wherever you are in the world. That was just a couple of little layers. We're going to add in one other idea now. The other idea is the word freestyle. Okay, so can you say for me, if you're in a space where you can make noise, or even if you're not, can you just say for me, freestyle? Allow yourself to feel the freedom and get that voice, freestyle, nice and high, nice and loud. So what's going to happen is when I hold up the number 1, you're going to copy me with dum ti quiche ti. When I hold up the number 2, we're just going to freestyle. And you can use any of the different sounds, any clapping. You're just going to find a beat. I'm going to use a beat. I'm going to give you a beat. You just have to make something up. If you can't make anything up, you're just going to dance a bit. Okay, that's the groove that we're going with. Does that make sense? I'll give you a couple of sounds that you might like to throw in as you're practicing this. This one is, we can use that if we like. This one is shh. This one is, and this one is. So you have, you also have, shh. And if you like, you can throw in anything else like a whoop or whatever you like. See if you can make your Zoom screen do something crazy. Okay, that's the game plan here. So when I have the number 1, you're copying me. With the number 2, it's freestyle. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and balloons. Keep that going. Get ready. We're going to go freestyle after 4 and a 1, 2, 3, freestyle. Whoop. And a 1, 2, 3, 4. Get ready, freestyle, and a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And a 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to stop there for just a second. You can breathe easy. Well done, Oscar. I could see you doing brilliantly all over the place. There were limbs everywhere. It was absolutely perfect. And it's a nice way to get us started. Ladies and gentlemen, we are playing. And that is the most important thing I want you to take away from this session today. What we are doing is about playing, and it's about using our bodies, it's about using our voices, and it's about finding joy in what we do. And you're all intelligent, highly capable people who've hopefully spent the last 10 minutes making very silly noises. I cannot tell you how good for the brain, for the body, for the soul, for every aspect of us as humans, it is to play. You know this, but what I'm trying to show you today is just 2 or 3 little ways that are not talking about the why, but are thinking about the how. And I think one of the biggest things that I think about as a musician ultimately is how can I give people a very simple toolkit to encourage other people to make noise and have fun. So if we just spend 3 or 4 minutes thinking about what we just did, I'm going to unpick it for you. And then I'm going to ask you to go away and think about how you could do something like that yourself, or encourage someone else to do something like that. Because if we can learn how to do something, then it's much easier to share it. And Oscar's gone away to have a recovery period. I think it's very wise. So I'm just going to unpick a few of the things we did. First of all, have a think as we go along. At the beginning, before we did anything, I gave you 4 different instructions. If you can master those instructions, you basically have control of any room. So we had this one, we had this one, and that one. Can you remember what they all were? I bet you can. That one was, see if you can say for me.
Stop.
Yeah, Oscar's got it. Very good. Louder.
Louder.
Softer.
Softer.
And that one was a
Keep
really
on
good
going.
one. Keep on going. Oscar's got it down. He's answered on your behalf, which is great. These 4 simple ideas give us a building block of things that we can do. After that, it's my job to give you a toolkit which makes sure nothing we do becomes scary. And so we started with just stuff like body awareness things, just waking up the body. You can do anything you like in this sort of game. I like, obviously I'm on Zoom, so I'm somewhat limited to what you can see on the screen, but actually thinking about things just to rub, pat, bring feeling into different parts of our body. It's really nice. There's no rhythm. There's nothing to do except just raise awareness. And because you're doing it with me, we're doing something physical. So immediately everyone who you're working with is now going to be watching you to see what you do next. So we're very quickly building a bond, a relationship between whoever is in the leadership role and whoever in the room, whatever age group of students you're now working with, they will be with you for this. They're just going to be with you. After that, with the movements, we then went to movement with sound. Note I didn't say singing, I'm just talking about sound. So we had like, we had breathing, we had shh, and we can put different sounds to different gestures. Ideally in a way that triggers creativity if we can. So like a, or a knocking down a door. Doors are great. They make all sorts of weird noises. So we can think about that kind of stuff, or we can think about a trip to the moon or diving into the deepest ocean, whatever we like. We can now put sound to gesture. If I want to go diving underwater, what's that going to be? You can imagine at home, maybe a wave would be a all the different noises we can make. It's just great fun to start playing. And again, there's a call and response, a copying element that we're doing here. So we get used to very simply making noise together, making sound together, connected to gesture. After that, we did a few things with numbers, which are very good, and we made Zoom screen go crazy with all the different balloons. It's fascinating to me how the brain works, and this is a great example. Doing that, and then that, and then that will mess most people up. There's another really good one, if you know this one. Maybe you've done that. Yeah, you know those games. So it's nice to drop in a few of those, but if you can connect them to sound like thumbs, fingers, thumbs, then we're very quickly finding something that, again, helps to activate the voice in a fun, playful way. So after we've done sound making, at that point, we're now layering in something new. And I think I gave you dum, ti, quiche, ti today as the first little rhythmic pattern. So we've given you words. We then associate those with sound effects. And immediately, once we're doing the sound effects, you know that you're an instrument. So we're making a lot of logical jumps very quickly without actually having to talk about it. I didn't have to say, right, guys, we're going to be a drum kit. We just did it, and you will know. And this ability to communicate without having to talk about things is a really useful skill, I find, when we're working with young children of different ages. So we all are on the same page, and we've set up our first rhythm, dum ti quiche ti, dum ti quiche, dum ti. Again, this is a rhythm that anyone can learn. It's not about singing, it's not stressful. I've gone pretty quickly today, but you would pick that up in a matter of seconds or minutes, I'm sure, and so will everyone else. The thing we've then done is now when it begins to get interesting. I taught you a second rhythm. The rhythm I taught you today was with the numbers 1, 4, 7, and 8. Da, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If we had a bit longer, I could teach you another part of that rhythm, which would be with the numbers 3, 5, and 8, which would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, da, 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 da. And we can now start to build 3 layers, all fitting together quite nicely. If we stick those 2 clapping patterns together, we're left with da, 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 which is a pattern called the standard pattern from sub-Saharan Africa. And again, it shows progression. So once we've learned something, we can give students who want to work a bit faster something else to keep them engaged. And then I threw in that last most important word, which I love so very much, freestyle, which taps into our creativity. Because ultimately, we all feel music differently, we all want to feel music differently, and we all want to express it in different ways. So everything we're doing within the work that we do is thinking about, first of all, when are we teaching, and when are we creating a space for joy to happen and for people to be able to express themselves. So actually, I've reached this point in the presentation, and I haven't sung yet, but have I made music? Yes. Have you made music with me? I hope so. So actually what we've been doing is thinking about music that's not about teaching a song, but it is about building a space for music and for creativity to happen. And in this kind of environment, students, I promise, whatever age, will flourish, will have fun, and it will nurture them in so many positive ways. It's creating a playground, but actually the benefit that comes out of it is much bigger than that. So if we look at all of the research that's being done by people far more intelligent than me, I'm the how guy. The people who actually write the research, who look into the specifics, will talk about the positive impact on language, on literacy, numeracy, that can be developed through the kind of activities that we're doing, and then tying into the wider spectrum of health, wellness, nurturing of the soul, all of the things that we need as humans to feel human, particularly in a world which is increasingly going to become dominated by things like AI, which are going to make us question our very existence in so many ways. What we're doing here is providing a space for us as young humans and eventually older humans to learn how to play with music. And we've done all of it without an instrument, only using our bodies, only using our voices. And if we tie into what the idea of our work is within the Voces 8 Foundation, it principally, as you saw in the first video, it's about singing a cappella, singing without instruments. It's about working out how to use the human voice, this incredible, beautiful, magnificent thing that we all have that is unique to all of us, and in a way that shares that with other people in a space that is uplifting, inspiring, and positive. And what we've done through these first couple of games that we've just played is basically show the entry level and done it in a way, hopefully, that wasn't too scary. So we've created a toolkit of sound. We have different gestures to go with it. We have we could spend all day creating new sounds, and the young people who you're working with could also throw in their own ideas. Normally when I ask an under 10 to throw in an idea, I get a and I get a and feel free to use those because they're brilliant, especially when you start attaching gestures to them. And then we start thinking about music vertically. So sometimes when we think I have to be teaching something musical, that means I have to sing a song. We can go to that in a second. But actually what we've done so far hasn't been about singing a song, but it's been about playing with music. And if you imagine in your mind, we have rhythm, we have melody, and we have harmony. These are kind of 3 elements that I think are quite nice for us to break up. And starting with rhythm allows us to understand what harmony is like. And then we get to put the melodies on top as well. So actually the rhythmic harmony that we can create just through those simple games is a really great way to encourage our students to flourish. I'm just going to very quickly show you a little video so you don't have to listen to me the whole time. One of the things we do within the foundation is teach a lot. We work in hospitals, prisons, many schools, from elementary to middle school to high school to upper school to university. We do a lot of teacher training. We also create resources. So actually, if all the stuff we're talking about today is stuff you'd like to use, you can go on YouTube and find this video that I'm about to share, but also others as well. And we create videos where we begin with about 3 or 4 minutes of teaching, so that anyone you're in a room with can just sing along with us as we teach all the parts, and then you can sing along with our Voces 8 team as we actually make the song together. So I'm just going to demonstrate a little bit for you, one of those, as if I can find it. And here we go. I'm going to share the screen. And this is a song called Silele, Song 7. I'll explain that in a second. As you can see, that's originally a bit of a song by Bobby McFerrin. And you can also see it's had closing in on 500,000 views. So this is a song that really is about playing. I'm starting the video about 5.5 minutes in. So we spend the first 5 minutes teaching all the different parts, and I'll share those with you in just a second. But for now, this is what it sounds like when we stick it together.
1, 2, 3. Si la la, si la la, oh. 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 Si la la, si la la.
I hope by the end you've probably worked out how all of the melodies go there. So just to break that down for you and think about what I just showed you before that, we had, did you see the stuff going on with the clapping? So we had da, da, da. We had some clapping going on as well. And then we had 3 or 4 very simple little lines. So the first one just went, si le le, oh. So si le, oh. Can we just try that together? 3, 4. Si le, oh. And again, stop. When it goes higher, I go up. When it goes lower, I go down. We have a little count in. Let's do it again. 3, 4. Si le, oh. That's the first line. The second line is exactly the same words, same rhythm, just a bit higher. Si le, oh. Si le. Should we try that together? And si le, oh. And the third one was exactly the same, just a bit higher. Si le, oh. Should we try that? Si le, oh. Then apart from that, there was a bass line, which Johnny, I think maybe you spotted our bass at the time in Voces 8, put that in. He's just kind of making that up as he goes along. And then Elle was adding in the last little part that we would normally teach, which was ngere, ngere, ngere de do. So it goes ngere, ngere, ngere de do, ngere, ngere de do. So we have 3 ngeres, ngere, ngere, ngere de do, ngere, ngere de do. So it goes 3 engedes, det do. If you watch my hands as well, 1, 2, 3, and there's another zoom, excellent. Then det do. Then we have 2 engedes and another det do. So just watch one more time. It goes ngede, 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 det do, ngede, ngede, det do. Should we try that all together? 3, 4. Ngede, 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 det do, ngede, ngede, det do. And we just loop that as well. So effectively, what we've been doing with our rhythms, with the and the da ga da ga ga, we're doing exactly the same, but now we're just layering some sounds on top. And if you notice, these fragments of sound are very short, and we can start with one group singing, just like with Voces 8 just there. They all started in unison. Then we put on the second one. Then we put on the third one. Then we put on the fourth one with the ngada, ngada. And at that point, you saw Andrea do the 2 things we talked about: get softer, get louder. She also did this, meaning this is the last time. And then we stopped altogether. And so with this very simple set of instructions, we've now transitioned very quickly with this kind of song from something that was just making a noise, breathing together, then into sound making, then into creativity through sound making and layer building, now into singing a simple song together. And for full clarity, people often ask me with this piece, what do the words mean? And I'm happy to tell you the words mean absolutely nothing at all. They are just nonsense syllables that Bobby McFerrin made up. And I didn't tell you this at the time, but for us British people, we tend to be pretty bad with rhythm. I'm not sure if you've noticed that. But that song that we just learned, Song 7, is called Song 7 for various reasons, but it also is in 7. So if you listen, we have silele, silele, oh, silele, silele. So actually, that's very unusual. And so we've actually taught a song with a rhythmic structure that's very unusual, but it would have been easy. We wouldn't have talked about it in advance. We'd have just done something complicated in a way that simplified it. And those are the kind of tricks that we can play if we understand these very simple rules that we're thinking about. We've talked a little bit about how to make sound, how to think about depth, and how to think about horizontal stuff. I would like, Oscar, you can tell me if I'm running out of time. I'd like to demonstrate one other little song for you to take away, if that's possible. And then I think we're going to have time for some questions. So Oscar, you're going to field that. But for now, I'll just very quickly give you one other little song to take away, which does actually mean something. So we've talked about layer building. This one doesn't have layers, but it has all the same elements that we've been talking with. So you could take this away today, you could teach it, and then carry on having fun with it in many occasions afterwards. So all that happens is I sing, and you sing, yeah, yeah, mo back on me no fue. And the words are, yeah, yeah. Should we try that? Yeah, yeah. Nice. And then we have, mo back, oh mean, oh fue, oh fue. So we have, yeah, yeah, mo back, oh mean, oh fue. Let's try that. Yeah, yeah, mo back, oh mean, oh fue. So once we've learned that, we know the first half of the piece. So I would sing, or if you're leading it, you would sing, oh, when me acordé, mo back, oh mean, oh fue. Yeah, yeah, mo back on me no fue. And the yeah is what everyone does in reply. So this means me, this means you. Oscar, I can see you. Good luck, everyone else. Here we go. Oh, when me acordé, mo back on me no fue. Yeah, yeah, mo back on me no fue. Oh, when me acordé, mo back on me no fue. Yeah, yeah, mo back on me no fue. So that's our first little passage of play. The second one, now that you're getting familiar with mo back on me no fue, our word, which you can guess is not English, we're going to use that same word again for the second half of the song. So just have a listen to this. Mo back on me no fue, 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 mo back on me no fue. So you can hear we're just going up, and then down, and then we finish. Mo back conmigo fue, mo back conmigo fue, mo back conmigo fue, mo back conmigo fue. And that's how many times we sing it. And then we do it together twice. Because we're in a fast-moving video session, I'm going to throw you the other bit of information you need for this song, which is, guess what? We're going to clap a bit. And it goes like this. Mo back conmigo fue, mo back conmigo fue, mo back conmigo fue, mo back conmigo fue. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So we have the first section of the song. Oh, when me acordé, mo pa conmigo fue. Yeah, yeah, mo pa conmigo fue. Oh, when me acordé, mo pa conmigo fue. Yeah, yeah, mo pa conmigo fue. That's the first part. You notice we did it 2 times. The second part goes like this. Mo pa conmigo fue, mo pa conmigo fue, mo pa conmigo fue, mo pa conmigo fue. And we do that twice as well. Should we just try that second part all together? Give it a go. Good luck. And you can hear I'm clapping quite quietly because I don't know who else is over there. Here we go. Mo and mo pa conmigo fue, 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 mo pa conmigo fue. There we go. Those are the bits that you need to know with this piece. The last bit of information I'll give you is that to really have fun, you then play with the dynamics, how loudly, how quietly you might sing it. Again, tying back to this. And then you play with how fast you sing it. So I would suggest when we're doing a game like this, that we start where we just were, but by the end we're more like, o bueno me acordé, mo pa camino fue, yeah, yeah, mo pa camino fue, o bueno me acordé, mo pa camino fue, yeah, mo pa camino fue, 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 mo pa camino fue. And we finish slowly, o bueno me acordé, mo pa camino fue, yeah, yeah, mo pa camino fue. And that's kind of how we might run that piece. As I said, that piece does have words and does mean something, and it's called, well, Owene Makule Mo Bakomino Fue is me saying, hey guys, do you want to come and play outside? And when you say, yeah, yeah, Mo Bakomino Fue, that's you guys saying, yeah, let's go, let's play. And that ties me back ultimately to the first idea that I think we talked about in this session, that we are doing this because it's about play and it's about having fun. That song was from Ghana. And as I mentioned, the song that Bobby McFerrin did, Silele, doesn't mean anything at all, but Bobby McFerrin is a genius and his circle songs work in all sorts of capacities. As I also mentioned, where I started was in the world of choral music, church music from a very young age. But I think what we've shown in the last 40 minutes is that actually singing isn't about style of music. What music we like doesn't impact on our ability to sing. There is something out there in the world for everyone. And using the body, using the voice is something that anyone can do. And it is an incredibly life-affirming, positive thing for us to do. I'm going to also say specifically, singing by yourself is fine. But the research tells us that singing with other people is when the magic really happens. So if we're trying to think about health benefits, if we're trying to think about building community, about improvements in so many levels for young people, actually singing in a choir is where it's at. And the moment we start singing in groups of people, it pulls us right back to the beginning of humanity. You know, we were singing in communities before we were communicating with speech. It is so inbuilt in us. It is such an important part of the way we express ourselves as humans, that to find a way to feed into our health service, into our preventative care, into the way we recover. I'm thrilled that they're now doing tests in the UK where they actually see if they can prescribe singing in a choir as a medicine. For me, that's such an important thing to be thinking about. It can be so powerful in so many ways, I think even beyond what we're aware of today. And as I mentioned, it doesn't have to be limited by any genre of music or by any actual impediment. It doesn't cost you anything to use your voice. It's one of the most beautiful things we have. And when it ties into the history of storytelling, creativity, giving people a chance to express themselves, it doesn't get much better. I know we're about to get to questions in just a second, but I wondered if I could just very quickly show you a little introduction, because we launched a new ensemble in America. So in the UK, we have Voces 8, we have another ensemble called Apollo 5, and we've just launched a new group. And Oscar, I think you'd seen this video, which tells me that our social media is working. I was really happy to wake up this morning and the little clip that we posted a couple of days ago kind of been trickling along, and suddenly it's exploded. Like nearly 100,000 people have seen it overnight, which is brilliant. And it's a new ensemble that we've started for upper voices. And I'm just going to find it for you because it again shows a different style. So we actually have a singer with a Indian Bangladeshi background, and she's fused that sound world, the totally different scales, with the Western harmony that we work with. And she's created this piece called Joro Joro, which I'm just going to share for a minute. And then Oscar, that gives everyone else time to write in any questions they've got, and then it's over to you to feed in from there. So here we go. This is Joro Joro. And I'm going to leave that as a cliffhanger. Go find that on YouTube.
Beautiful.
I hope you love it as much as I do. Oscar, thanks so much for having me today. Can I just say, I think this is a brilliant space for so many people to be gathering and sharing ideas, and it's a great honor for me to have been invited. So thank you very much for having me.
No, thank you, Paul, for the wonderful lecture and a lot of ideas you have giving us to promote arts in children. We have several questions. The first one is, do you think music can help kids to learn how to regulate their emotions?
I think that's a great question. Can help for sure. I think music is a really important space for us to think about how we control, understand, share, be open about lots of different things. I've done projects in the past where we've actually worked with refugees, for example, who have been through traumas that we can't even begin to imagine. Often they'd come into a space as people who are not verbal. They're not willing to speak, not willing to share. And using music and using creative storytelling as a way to start being expressive, to start unlocking some of those doors, we found to be a very powerful tool. I was working in a center with students with severe autism a couple of weeks ago in St. Louis, and it was one of the most moving days that I can remember. I mean, it's lovely to stand on stage, but actually thinking about being in a space like that and how we can use some of the songs I was sharing with you today as a space for students to start verbalizing, to start doing things together, whatever their background, whatever challenges they're facing. I think it can be a very powerful space to do that. So yeah, absolutely. I think also, if you think physically, the very process of breathing and singing can be a very powerful tool just to bring us back to center as well. So the physical side of things and also the creative space to be storytelling and to be using that side of things are really important, I think, and can be very beneficial.
Thank you. And the other question is, do you think everybody is able to sing well if they're exposed and properly taught? Because
this question, Oscar, I normally get the other way around. It's normally like, I can't sing.
Right, right.
I mean, I would say I encounter a lot of people who have experienced at least one moment in their life where someone has said to them, "You sound bad." And I would encourage us all to just think how that feels. I talked about the beauty of the human voice, the power that we have about it's individual, it's unique. The human voice is not like a piano, it's not like a trumpet, an oboe, any instrument which is a thing that exists out here. It's something inside us. And the moment that anyone says to someone, "You sound bad," or "I don't think you sing very well," we take that so deeply on board, painfully deeply, that actually it can limit us for the rest of our lives. And I would encourage us all to believe that we all have a unique voice that can be expressive in the way it makes music. Obviously, the more practice you do, like anything, the better you get. But really, that sense of the first step is to be open and to allow sound to happen. It's very, very rare that people are really tone deaf. And actually, with good training, we think everyone can improve. And obviously, there are some people who are world-class professionals, but everyone with practice can improve. The critical point, I think, for the general population is to understand that using the voice is a good thing and to take that on board. Whatever good singing might mean, I would encourage that first step actually is the most important. Singing, full stop, is good for you, whether that's in the shower, in the car, in public, wherever you want to do it. It's really healthy.
Good, thank you. And the other question is, can music improve social skills in children, and especially particularly in autistic children?
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, we've been doing some work, particularly in that area recently, and we find ourselves in a room. I come into any space like this as a professional musician, not as a healthcare specialist in any way. So I think that's that much is obvious, but it's worth just making that clear. But the feedback I get from the people that we're working with who work with these students regularly is that creating this kind of space, and we'd normally work in this sort of setting in a circle. So we set up a circle of learning, and it can be very, very positive. We'd have students, for example, whose attention span, they say, is normally very, very short, would be able to get through an hour-long session with us, which is, to me, feels great. To the people who are working with them daily, they were blown away that the students were able to stay involved and stay connected for such a long space of time. So I really think it can be very beneficial, and you can take that into pretty much any setting as well. I think the stuff we've done today is designed to be transferable to any age group, any ability level. The only thing really that changes is the speed at which you work, and that's about responding to whoever you're with in the room. I can work faster or slower, as could you, depending on who it is that you're working with.
Thank you. Well, a lot of the majority of kids, they won't be a musicians or a singer, professional, but it's good to promote music and singing arts in general. And the other thing is that there's some kids that they never uh, uh, think that they could be a professional musician, and we have to expose them. What's your experience on that? Because your personal history is very particular, but some others, they never thought they could be a musicians.
Yeah, I think the role that we believe we're able to play with our various performance ensembles is to some extent, Oscar, that aspirational model. We go into so many different spaces and we share what we do, we make music together, and then we show people that this is a life that they can have. And I think for teaching artists to be connecting into different spaces, in communities, in hospitals, in schools, wherever it might be, and just opening people's minds to what is possible in this world. I absolutely don't think, strongly encourage most people not to become professional musicians because it's not the easiest life out there. But I think our hope is on one level, we go in and we find a way to bring joy to people through music that either inspires them to make music something that they love doing in their life, or encourages them to find the thing that they love doing and approach it with the same passion. And then for some people, as you mentioned, there's this idea that actually it might be the light bulb moment that's actually makes someone think, this could be what I do with my life. And that might not be as a choir boy, but it might be in some sphere of music. And I would encourage everyone to think about how they follow their passion, whatever it is. I feel lucky that my passion is how I spend my life. And I hope that we can show people that that thought process is a good one to have.
Thank you. Yeah, because music and medicine, they're both long process. It's a long process. It's possible, we enjoy it, but it's a long process, and it's hard. You know, it takes effort and sweat, tears.
Yeah, but I think both have this incredible sense of nurture, of care around them, and the idea that what we do is effectively healing in some way is very much central to our belief in what we do. It's not a medicine in the same way, it's not healing in the same way that people might traditionally think that, but actually I think it's so important. And all of our musicians really center their idea on the thought that actually as musicians we're there to help people.
Well, thank you, Paul. It's been a wonderful session, very, very unique for this space, you know, for our grand rounds. But it's I know everybody's enjoying it, and we thank you very much to uh, having you here in our space. I'm going to switch into Spanish, and then I'll wrap it up in English.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, aquí les recomiendo nomás que hagan favor de llenar la encuesta de satisfacción para poder elaborar las constancias, y las pláticas anteriores, así como esta, el día de hoy, estará en nuestra plataforma, en el canal de YouTube de TechSalud. Probablemente en un par de días estará en el canal de YouTube de nuestra institución. Les recordamos que la próxima sesión tendremos 2 sesiones con el doctor Hilario Blasco, un experto en bienestar y en TDA, y los esperamos que estén con nosotros la próxima semana. Thank you very much, Paul, for this wonderful session. Thank you to our audience in being with us, and we hope to see you soon. Okay, thank you very much, and good luck to all your projects, because you've been doing a lot of work and all over. So it's a pleasure having you. Thank you very much. It has been an honor. Well, thank you. It's been a good session, a wonderful session, different. I've been receiving comments that they have enjoyed, and they wanted to see the recorded session. so it's been a successful.
I hope that anyone who liked what we were just doing can come back to this recording, and that will help them remember all the different things that we did.
Right.
That's the idea. I'm sure it was quite different, but I think it's our job as musicians to shake things up and try to share some of the tips and tricks.
Well, that's the thing that as a pediatrician we have the opportunity to talk about that, about art, about sports, and reading. We have to talk in our daily basis with our kids. So you have create an awareness to our pediatricians.
Well, I hope it was helpful, and it was certainly enjoyable for me. So thank you for inviting me to do it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and good luck to all your projects.
Thanks. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.